Deep within the snowy folds of Japan's Tōhoku region, where winter's cold embraces mountain villages in long shadows, something stirs in the night, something not easily explained. The Namahage, towering figures cloaked in wild straw robes and grotesque demon masks, emerge from the dark woods, haunting the crisp air with their eerie, demanding presence. These fearsome yokai are not mere costumes or performers, but echoes of a profound and unsettling local folklore that blends spirit and human, warning and ritual. On bitter nights, when the wind has turned relentless and the snow falls thick and silent, the Namahage are said to roam the narrow lanes and deep forests, visiting homes with an otherworldly authority. Their sudden appearances send quiet tremors through the hearts of those who listen for their footsteps, or fear the harsh, accusing calls directed especially at children. The origin of these masked figures is wrapped in layers of folk belief, lost meaning, and whispered mystery. Some local legends say the Namahage are the living spirits of mountain gods, dispatched to sweep away laziness and misfortune from the villages during the coldest season. Others speak of restless spirits or yokai, wandering entities that use the guise of terrifying demons to enforce ancient taboos and moral order. The thick, heavy masks portray ogre-like faces with bulging eyes and sharp teeth, a deliberate design to inspire respect mingled with fear. But the line between spirit and man blurs, for the Namahage tradition calls on real villagers to don these fearsome visages and act out this haunting ritual, blending human agency with supernatural symbolism. They are guardians and punishers, messengers from a world just beyond human sight, speaking an age-old language of warning where silence and shadow meet. Local wisdom holds that children must not linger or show fear when these masked figures arrive. The Namahage admonish the idle, the misbehaved, and those who neglect their duties, their warnings passed down through generations like a living curse meant to shape conduct through quiet dread. The chilly winter nights seem to deepen the power of the ritual, thickening the atmosphere with a sense that the mountains themselves are watching, that ancient spirits still roam beneath the snow. Villagers have long regarded the Namahage as more than mere folklore. Some believe they embody the mountain's will itself, the restless spirits of ancestors, or even guardians summoned to maintain the delicate balance between humans and the wild, unforgiving landscape. The festival nights, when the Namahage walk the villages, are shrouded in an almost otherworldly veil. No one could say exactly when this haunting practice first took root, but its uncanny persistence connects Tōhoku's mountain people to a shadowed past and to the unseen, whispered realms of yokai. It is a tradition that stirs the imagination not just through spectacle, but through an enduring sense of the uncanny, a meeting point between the known and unknown, between village hearths and deep mountain darkness, where supernatural presence lingers just beyond the flickering light. The Namahage ritual is deeply rooted in the agricultural rhythms and spiritual customs of Tōhoku's mountainous villages. At its core, the practice reflects an ancient belief in the purification of both land and community, where the harsh winter months are seen as a time when the boundaries between the human world and the realm of spirits grow thin. The arrival of the Namahage figures marks a seasonal turning point, a moment when villagers confront not only the natural challenges of prolonged cold and snow, but also the invisible forces believed to influence daily life. These yokai-like beings are traditionally understood to be more than simple scarecrows or festive performers. They embody an eerie presence that enforces proper behavior and respect for social order, reinforcing local taboos about laziness, waste, and neglect. Various versions of the Namahage story persist across the region, each echoing shared themes with subtle differences. In some accounts, the Namahage are mountain spirits sent to inspect households, seeking those who shirk their duties or live idly during the crucial winter season. Their mask-like faces, grotesque and unforgettable, are intended to frighten, yet their visit carries a cleansing, even protective, purpose. It is said that by shouting warnings and searching homes, they drive away malevolent spirits, lingering curses, and the invisible pollution that could disrupt the fragile balance of village life. Such beliefs reflect a broader Japanese folk concept of impurity, kegar, and its opposite, purification, which is often enacted through ritual drama and the presence of the supernatural. Another layer of the Namahage's meaning lies in their possible role as guardians of sacred boundaries. Rural communities in Tōhoku have long regarded their mountains and forests as spaces both life-giving and dangerous, realms inhabited by kami, yokai, and ancestral spirits. The Namahage, by design, blur the line between these spiritual forces and human society. Donning fearsome masks and straw garments, villagers transform into figures who challenge disorder while also standing at the threshold between worlds. This liminality reflects old taboos concerning outsiders and impurity. The masked Namahage are sometimes interpreted as cautionary spirits warning against the contamination of sacred spaces, a reminder to uphold reverence for nature and the unseen powers dwelling within it. Interestingly, while the Namahage appear threatening, their role is not purely ominous. Folklore remembers them as ambiguous figures, both punishing and protecting, embodying the paradoxical nature of many yokai in Japanese belief. Their nightly rounds serve to reassert social bonds, to remind the community of collective responsibility, and to cleanse the household of spiritual danger before the coming year. This dynamic gives the ritual a powerful presence, an uncanny ability to evoke respect woven from a complex tapestry of fear, reverence, and tradition. Placed against the isolated, snowbound landscape of northern Japan, the Namahage Festival is more than a seasonal curiosity. It is a spiritual enactment of a deep cultural memory, where village, mountain, and spirit are entwined. The Namahage remain an enigmatic presence in the rhythms of Tōhoku's winter nights, a living folklore that delicately balances fear and respect. Their origins, though deeply rooted in local belief, resist clear historical definition. Some scholars suggest their form and function evolved through centuries of layered customs, while others see hints of ancient mountain spirit worship intertwined with Shinto ideas of purity and pollution. The truth is likely a blend of multiple influences, yet what endures is the Namahage's symbolic power as custodians of unseen spiritual safeguards, guardians against moral decline, negligence, and misfortune. In this way, the Namahage serve not just as spectral enforcers of behavior, but as manifestations of the community's collective conscience, a force reminding villagers of their intimate ties to the land and the fragile order maintained by respect and discipline. As modernity presses into even the most remote corners of Japan, the Namahage's role quietly transforms but does not disappear. Electronic screens, roads that cut through ancient forests, and changing lifestyles might seem at odds with a world where masked demons roam the night. Yet, the Namahage endure because they embody a boundary between the tangible and the intangible, the mundane and the mystical. They remind people that beneath the surface of everyday life, the mountain's unseen spirits still watch, that ancient taboos still linger in shadow, and that the winter darkness remains a domain where supernatural forces can cross thresholds unseen. Local legend says the Namahage's haunting calls still echo through small alleys and snow-drifted farmhouses, their presence stirring an almost forgotten sense of vigilance. Some villagers admit that the ritual's precise meaning can blur with each generation, but the emotional truth persists, a call to mindfulness, respect for the seasons, and acknowledgement of restless forces that inhabit the landscape. The masks and straw garments may be donned by human hands, but many agree the spirits they represent feel alive, as if crossing from some hidden realm to remind the living that they are never truly alone. This crossing between worlds, where the natural and supernatural intertwine, gives the Namahage ritual a haunting resonance beyond its surface spectacle. In the long winter nights, when the air is sharp and still, the thin veil separating time, space, and spirit seems to flutter. The Namahage stands sentinel at this threshold, part folkloric nightmare, part guardian spirit, embodying a latent power to preserve both fear and respect within a community's heart. It is this fragile balance that keeps the legend vivid, a living echo of ancient watchfulness cast against the cold, silent mountains. While the origins may remain shrouded in mystery, the Namahage continue to represent an enduring connection to a past where the landscape itself felt alive with spirit and warning. They haunt the shifting boundary between reality and legend, sustaining a fragile spiritual legacy that confronts complacency and honors vigilance. In this way, beneath the snow-laden trees and beneath the slow pulse of modern life, the Namahage lingers still, ancient sentinels in the winter shadows, whispering caution from beyond the veil.